Hello and welcome to Playing Favorites. I'm Paul.
And I'm Justin. Do you like my new
Hello.
basement?
Oh, Justin, it looks beautiful down there. What did you do? Where did you find the time to do all this?
The kids got like shipped to like another country, so I've been good. Yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
It's like shipping error in your favor, like in Monopoly or something.
I don't know. If you're on the podcast, go check our YouTube channel. I've been having fun, but if you've been to our podcast lately, I've been kind of like tweaking my backgrounds a little bit. I've been getting new rooms once in a while. I've been traveling. It's like I've gone to Utica. I've gone to Midgard.
Yeah, I like the one in Midgard. Very cold. Very cold.
But yeah, tell everyone. Why do you think I got this lovely setup behind us here today, Paul?
Oh well, Justin, we're here to talk about video games.
Yes.
If you're not, if this is your first time, this is the show that takes a topic and tries to find out why we like something within that category or topic so much. And this week's topic is favorite unfinished video game. A game that you played that you never finished, and maybe you wanted to go back and finish it, but for whatever reason, it remains in the undone
the backlog, as many of the gamers they call it.
Yes.
your backlog. We all have it. We all are sad about it. But you know what? There's got to be a reason you didn't finish it, I guess.
Exactly. For a lot of these, I think there's got to be a reason, and it might not be you yourself as the reason. Sometimes it is.
Yeah, but
let's not be.
Well, it could be something else, like children. This is why I had to send them to another country. But anyways, no, I love my kids. I did not send them away. Please don't go after me. But yeah, if you haven't been here before, again, like Paul said, we do have a lot of different topics we talk about here. We have a lot of favorites we talk about, but we don't just do that. You're on our podcast, go to our YouTube channel, not YouTube channel.
We should start a YouTube channel of just people chewing. It'd be like those mukbang videos or whatever.
Go to our YouTube channel. We've done some Let's Plays. We've done a variety of different Let's Plays. Some where Paul gets very angry, some where I get very frustrated, and sometimes we get tired. So go check that out.
Why am I the angry one and you're like frustrated? You get to be frustrated, but I'm the angry one. It's true though. It's true. I'm not gonna lie.
But it's good times. Go check that out. But we also have a Twitter account. We also have a Facebook page. All that stuff. It's all in the description. And please share us with your friends, family, loved ones, grandmas, grandpas, cousins, nieces, and maybe unborn children. Who knows?
Put us like those, like you see those pictures of ladies putting the earbuds on their bellies.
There you go. Yes.
Instead of Mozart, pump our voices into your womb. Justin, also old people love us, right?
Yeah, of course. Anyways.
Very excited for this topic today, Justin.
Yes, but before we get into that, though,
you've got something for me.
I have a surprise topic for you. For you.
Get me warmed up here. All right.
Surprise topics that could potentially be an episode. This is the thing. Like I like this. I like the surprise topic because the surprise topic that I'm going to throw at you could be an actual full episode if we did some research. But we're not doing research today.
All right.
What is your favorite, or a game? You don't have to be your favorite. What is a game that you've never played that you wish you'd played?
Ooh, never played, but wish I played.
I'd like a little bit of rules to this, though, because it can't be something that came out yesterday. Okay. So, like, let's just say, like, let's say before the PlayStation 5 came out, the previous generation. I know you don't have a PS5, but, like, let's just say before that. Before that.
Anything before this current generation, you're saying?
Yes.
Sure. I've got like 3 already. I'm like writing them down.
You're ready to go.
Can I tell you the first one that popped into my mind? It's a game for the NES, I think.
Wow. Okay. You went way back.
And I never played it. And I know like a lot of people played it, but I don't even know what it looks like other than the logo. It's the game Star Tropics.
I played it. I never finished it. I think my cousin had it. It definitely had the marketing to make you want to play it. I'll give you that
Yeah,
because it was
yeah.
everywhere. Yeah, it was everywhere. But
That was one of those things, and, like, I didn't even know anybody who had it, so I didn't even
yeah,
see it played or, like,
it
watch
was
it.
kind of like a Zelda ish, like top down sort of
Mhm.
game, but like the combat was different and there was more like it was more style kind of text to it. I mean, that's my memory of it. It was
Sure.
fine. I don't remember it being like amazing, but it was cool. But yeah,
Okay.
that's my only memory of it, I guess. But I don't think we can play it on the Switch though. I don't think it's on the online service at this time. So,
At this time. Could come. What about you? I mean, I've got a couple I can just rattle off,
well, there's
but
one. There's one that that's been a common theme that we've brought up a few times on this show that I probably should have played by now and have not. And that's Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, the original
Well,
NES
any of
game?
them. Like I know I played
Oh,
Metal Gear Phantom Pain. Like Phantom Pain,
yes,
I
that's
didn't.
another one.
That is kind of relates to the unfinished game category, but technically I started
Sure.
last year. But like I mean, I'm just saying like all the revered Metal Gear games, like Metal Gear Solid 2, I think
Mhm.
Guns of the Patriot or something like that. I can't remember what that one's called. Or
I think
I
that's
think it's
4.
4. Yeah.
Yeah, Guns of the
Uh,
Patriots. I'm trying
like
to remember
I
what
want to be
3 was
in on
Snake
this. Like
Eater.
I want to be in on like this insane story that people are raving about. And then
It is
and I
crazy
guess
lore.
and I guess to kind of relate to that, like I'm gonna say Death Stranding as well. Like I can play that now, I have access to it, but I would like to try that out. But like it's the
Okay.
same director. But I mean, I want to play a Kojima game. That's really what it comes down to because I've
Fair
really
enough.
everyone is like he's like the Quentin Tarantino of video game making, and like really he is like I think like that's a
Based in
good
Crusoe. Yes, yes. It
he's
is. Okay.
just
Oh.
what.
No, no, no. I'm good. I'm good. I was more making fun of some of his past games, but that's okay. And some of his storytelling is just
Who,
bonkers.
Kojima?
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
Kojima. Yes,
but
I
he
get.
is
I get.
bonkers.
He is more like, okay. I don't know about the Quentin Tarantino of it, but I would say he's definitely a video game like rock star developer.
Well,
Sure.
he's very like he tries to implement like a lot of like movies into it. Like he brings a lot of like especially with Death Stranding. There's like so many freaking actors in that thing. I mean, he had Kiefer Sutherland in one of his games too. He played Snake. He voiced Snake.
Oh, was that for 4? Oh no, no,
No,
no. That was
that
for
was
5
Phantom.
for Phantom Pain.
That was
Yeah,
Phantom Pain. But yeah. So
yeah.
like that was a series that I definitely would love to like you know.
Get
This
in
is the
on.
thing. It's like one of those things where it's like I wish I missed the boat on it. But like it's so hard to go back sometimes. Like it's like once you kind of miss the first three, it's like, do I really want to dive in on 4? And I'm like, so I didn't get 4, and it's like, so I don't know.
I mean, those games too, like all like from at least from my perspective, because I never played the first the one for the PlayStation, Metal Gear Solid.
Because
I played Metal Gear
Metal
for
Gear's on
NES,
NES, yeah.
but I played Metal Gear Solid 2, which everybody hated at first because it was mostly Raiden. Um, but it's a hilarious story with nonsensical things happening all the time. But 3 was a really good game, Snake Eater,
Yeah,
where
I
you're
heard.
just, like, embedded in a jungle, like, in a lot of time spending on, like, the color of your camouflage. Um,
I mean, people
but yeah,
revere about 4 too. Like people love 4.
4 has, like, one of the best end fights ever. Like, it's just a satisfying fight between him and Revolver Ocelot.
Hmm.
But yeah, okay.
But you
Very
see,
nice,
this could
very
be a good
nice.
topic, right? Like if
I
you
think
really
it
think
could.
about it, games
I
we wish we played.
I got one for you that's gonna probably surprise you a little bit.
Oh, you have another one? Go for it.
Yeah. One that I wish I had played, but I've never played it. I know what it's like, and I think I might have played the second one a little bit. It's Myst.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
talking to the right person. I love
I know
Myst.
because I think I played Myst
Riven.
2 at your house.
Oh, okay.
I think I played it on your old
I
PC. Like
played
you like booted it up. You're like, oh, I got that. And I was like,
Yeah,
"Really? Let
yeah,
me see." I
yeah,
might have played it for like 15 minutes or
yeah, yeah.
15 hours.
Riven
Who
was
knows?
hard. Riven was hard. I mean, I loved Myst games. Like I was enthralled by Myst because I remember like I got a CD-ROM early compared to a lot of my peers. Obviously, I had a PC and then I bought the CD-ROM, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy Myst. And I think one of my friends had Myst too. And I
Yeah.
remember being frustrated with Myst because I didn't have the right graphics card. So like you kind of know what Get Myst is about. So the game
Yeah.
would work. Like I could play the game. I would like go around and run around the island, but none of the FMVs would play. So
Oh,
like I'd
no.
open a book and I just see a black box.
Oh, man.
So I'm like,
Shucks.
Dad, there's something wrong with this book. My friend played this game and there's like people in it and I'm just seeing random books just laying around.
Oh,
It
you find out it was your graphic card.
was yeah, I had to upgrade the computer or
Oh, I
something.
mean, how did you find out? Like, did it just, like
I mean, I'm sure my dad just researched it. I mean, it was back when it was like, middle school. But I loved Myst, and I remember I found a way to like get through it, and I think I cheated to beat it because it was hard, and like you wanted to complete the story and just go through it.
Sure.
Riven though, oh my god, Riven was freaking crazy because it's like 6 islands, and you have like one thing on this island affected the thing on that island, and it just took forever to get around. It was ambitious, but it was hard. I had a
Well,
strategy. I had
well,
a strategy guide for that.
ooh,
Yeah, but then
that's good.
Myst 3. I'm sorry. I'm going to go through this now because I don't know when else we talk about it.
I
Myst
knew you would
3.
like this as soon as I
Myst
said it.
Myst 3 has a like kind of revered actor. He brought him up recently too. He's from One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I forget
Oh,
what actor he is. I'm trying to remember his name.
Jack Nicholson.
No, no, it was another guy from that movie. I feel
Okay.
like we brought him up recently too.
Christopher Lloyd, Danny DeVito. Oh, the guy who plays Grimo Wormtongue.
Yes, him. He's in
That
it.
guy. I forgot his name
Yeah,
too,
so
but yeah.
he's in it. I have the soundtrack for that game. It's great.
Mhm.
And then Myst 4 was kind of weird, but the thing that about Myst 4 is hilarious. It had like Sting doing like theme music for it, and there's a point where he's like doing this like just pictured Sting singing a song that's kind of related to like Indian folklore. It was like very weird, like Native American
Very,
folklore.
very easy. Like a lot of his music after The Police is all like new age weird stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, like
And
I could
I
imagine him going like Babu Babu say.
I never got 5 because 5 was like weird. It was like I think I missed out on 5 because it was like some sort of like outside of the story because I like the story of Myst personally. It was interesting, like this Athos who can make like books that can take you to other realms, and he learned the craft of writing to like allow you to teleport to other dimensions and stuff. And it was just, but then he had two brothers that like had like horrible issues with them because they were greedy. One was like greedy, and one was insane, and like it
Oh,
was, and like yeah, it was a weird story, and it was all like the people that made the game that were acted it out. It's kind of neat.
nice.
Anyways, sorry, I got excited about that.
I'll throw one last one to you
Oh
because
man,
it
you
was
were
such
you
a
were like it's almost like you're prepared for this.
I know we should do this episode, but I never played the game Matt Payne.
Me neither.
Any of
Made a
I
movie.
and people I know, and people and we made a movie about it.
I know.
But it was like because of the bullet time shooting and like
Yeah,
the kind of story it was interesting. It was a very like I don't know
wasn't that
a lot
Rockstar?
of people. It was Rockstar, and a lot of people was it.
I thought it was Rockstar.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think like a lot of people had played it, and I think even my brother had it, but I just never got into it. I was like, oh, that's cool, not for me. I don't know. It seems like it was like a very early. If I was to compare it to something like kind of like trying to be, not trying to be, but similar to Uncharted, like with its like kind of traversal, but then a lot more shooting. I don't know.
Hmm.
I can't really tell though because I never played it, but a lot of people like that
Oh
game.
wait, what is the name of the? It's Max Payne, isn't it?
That's Oh yeah, it's Matt. Did I call it by
You
our name?
said Matt. You said Matt Payne. I'm like, I'm googling Matt
That's
Payne.
how far removed I am from the game. Is
I'm like, wait a minute.
movie parody
Wait, it's not.
basically
It's
that we
not
made
Matt.
of
I'm like,
the
why?
game.
I'm putting Matt Payne. I'm like getting like Matt Payne's photography page. I'm like, what the heck is Matt Payne for?
Max Payne. Oh
Oh, it's
yes, that's funny.
Remedy made this, not Rockstar. Remedy
Rockstar. Oh, yeah, see,
Remedy
but it
made
might not.
Remedy I think made Control. This is one of the newer ones. You watched me play that a little bit.
Yes, I'm familiar.
But anyways, but no, that's a good one. I don't the best one I can think of was Metal Gear, but I don't want to go too much on this topic. So it's like,
No, no, we will come back to this. I stick with my first one though of Star Tropics. That was like a game I heard so much about.
would you go back and play it? That was my other question. Is would you go
I don't
back
know,
to
was it
play?
good? Like if you played, like was it good? Like is it?
I think you just dabble
If
in
you
it.
compare it to the original Legend of Zelda,
Mm,
is it fun
I don't think so.
or is it not? Is it janky Nintendo? Like that's the kind of
No,
game it might be.
it's just
Is it worse than the first Final Fantasy?
I like
Because
the
that's
first.
hard.
I love the first Final Fantasy though.
Yeah, go try and play it now.
I'm sure it's bad, but I loved it as a kid.
Well,
Anyways,
but
let's get
all
into
right.
it.
Well,
Hope you're warmed up. Hope you're ready
yes,
to
I am.
go.
Thank you. That was a very good one. We will keep that topic.
All right.
So, would you
First,
like me to go first with a honorable mention, or would you like to go first, Justin?
well, I mean, you gave a lot of surprise topic answers, so I guess I can
Please,
go first. So
by all means.
my first honorable mention, I'm gonna make it my first one because it's really hard to make it like my favorite one and because it is so new, and I played it very recently.
Okay.
But I honestly like am like, horribly like insanely impressed by this game, and it was like the kind of it's a PS5 game, so
Yeah.
I want to just set the tone like, a little bit. Like so, this game I can't beat it because it's hard. So, but
Honestly.
when I actually bought the game, it was like one of the first few games I bought for the PS5, and I honestly got really addicted and sucked into it. But it was hard. It was like really hard to getting through the levels, and that game is called Returnal, and this
Okay.
game is pure gameplay. It's a rogue light. I think it's rogue light.
Yeah.
But it has like the mechanics of shooting. It's not necessarily like your typical Dark Souls where you like you have a sword and you roll and dodge and you have like really hard monsters. It's a shooting game, like a third person shooting game. But it's like bullet hell type third person shooting game because this developer is named Housemark and they've made a lot of PlayStation exclusive games. And mostly were indie games. Like this one's way more AAA than all their other games they've ever seen. Like one of
Okay.
them was like my favorite launch game for the PS4, and it was called Resogun. Like I loved
Oh,
Resogun.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
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 like
yeah.
it was good. It was cool. Like you had like the ship and it was going around this like kind of like cylinder, and you had like all these like aliens you're shooting, like ship aliens, and they just would have like hyperdrive. Take that gameplay though, like that shooting bullet hell type vibe, but put it in a 3D or a third person action game. But the
Hmm.
shooting is the same, like the same kind of color projectiles and all that stuff. But you have an alien monsters that are kind of jumping around, and but it's hard because if you die, the game's whole gist of it, the Returnal, is that there's a story element to it. They actually had like acting and narrative, and it's actually
Yeah, it sounds
it's very intriguing for the type of game this is. When you die, you get kind of just reborn from like a Groundhog Day type thing, and you're
mhm.
constantly finding your dead bodies everywhere you go because you're seeing yourself dead. Like
Yeah.
the character Satine. I got
Celine,
Celine.
Celine.
Oh, thank you.
I'm reading. Yeah, I know a little bit about this game because
So
of its story. Like,
so
yeah,
so I struggle on like whether I wanted to pick this one because it's like man, like I recently played it. It's fresh in my mind. It's that recency bias, but it's like I really sit there and think I am always amazed and impressed by how great this game plays, feels, looks, the challenge, the reward. It's like you play Jedi Fallen Order and like the struggles through that, like that kind of like okay, reset, redo, reset, redo. But this
Yep.
one's way different because like when you die, you start from all the way at the beginning, and you have to go through the whole thing again. But you unlock like kind of shortcuts. Like if you beat the first boss, you don't have to fight the first boss again. You just got to find the way to the second world to fight the second boss. And then once you beat the second boss, then there's like a shortcut to the third world that you can fight the third boss.
Okay.
But there's like runs that you take because when you start, you lose all of your weapons, you lose all your abilities, you lose all the things you had, aside from some minor like things that carry over. And like there's like things like ether that's like kind of like currency that you can allow you to like find things faster in your run that you're doing. Are you following me so far?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I just
Was it?
I
No,
was
no,
go ahead.
go on. Go on. No. No. No.
Chime in. Chime in. I'm talking too
Well,
much.
because it's hard not to want to talk about this game, like the style of the game, because it is like it's not like you said a complete rogue game. It's rogue like, and the story that it tells like has you say Groundhog's Day, but it is like much more like emotionally crushing.
Well, yeah, but it's like I'm
True.
just using that kind of like repeat day or
Yes.
whatever.
No, I know, but like I'm just telling you my experience of this game. Like I have never played it. I've barely even seen the gameplay, but I read up about the story on this game because it was such like a oh, like what a crazy idea for a rogue like
Yeah.
or roguish kind of game to like kind of like interweave the story into that kind of progress and yeah. Yeah, I mean, can I spoil something from the game? Can I say something that happens in
No, 'cause I didn't finish it yet. Like what part? Like how
Alright.
far? How where? I don't even know where this takes place. What's it about?
Um, she finds the white shadow.
Oh well, yeah. Well, I haven't found the white shadow. That's okay.
Okay.
The white shadow is kind of like the thing that you're constantly looking for, but
Yeah,
like
that's the thing from the beginning, some signal that she's
yeah.
looking
So
for.
you're kind of like trying to find something. So like
Yeah,
I know that I'm close because the third boss in this game is the hardest boss, and
yeah.
I just I just hit a wall, and then I'm
What
just
do you remember the boss?
oh you're just like it's like some weird floating thing. You're at like a bunch of platforms, and it's like you're jumping on each platform. And it's like a big face. Like oh you like this big faces, like the big gigantic face floating around. You're trying to shoot it, and I just like you have to make sure you're prepared to get there. Though the problem is to get to these bosses, you can't just like run to the boss. You have to
Yeah.
like level up and get through the levels and get through and like level up your things. And you could have like some bad luck in the drops. So therefore it might be just a bad run. So like
Hmm.
you just gotta like almost sacrifice yourself or just try and then start over. But it just it is addicting to the point where it's like I almost like had to stop myself because I would just you just one more try, one more try, one more try, one more try. You want to keep playing, 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 playing. I've heard that once you beat the third boss though, it's a little bit easier to get to the end. It's like the stretch is a little bit I just gotta break it. But like what happened if they hit the wall, and then I went on vacation and then life happened and then I just couldn't get myself to like get back into that mode of doing it again. So that's kind of the reason why I stopped. But yeah, so anyways, Returnal. It's an amazing oh, and like the little haptic feedback stuff, awesome. I love that's like the best. I love it so much
Like
because like
Reddit.
you can feel the raindrops. It's like so weird. It's like the weirdest feeling. It's like you just like you're just like
Hmm.
I do the little like sound like
Oh, I like that. That's some nice ASMR there.
anyways, Returnal. That's my answer. That's my honorable mention.
Very good answer. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Wow. Yeah, I would like to see some more of the actual gameplay itself, but yeah, I think you should eventually. This is like, is this also like an intervention for either of us? Like, I think you should finish this game.
You should go back and do it.
You should go
Um,
back and, uh, but yeah, yeah, and I want to hear what you think of the rest of the story. I have an honorable mention to mention to you before we take a break. It is a game that we're both familiar with. That if I had more time and the patience, I would get back to it, and I would try to finish the campaign because there is, like, a campaign, sort of, in this game,
Okay.
and that's No Man's Sky.
Oh man, I thought about that. I wasn't sure how to
I
bring
had
that in because it doesn't have an
if I
ending.
had all the time yeah, if I had all the time in the world, it doesn't necessarily not have an ending, like, there is more like, I wanna progress the story more, I just wanna
Sure,
know what
sure.
else happens, like, with the space anomaly and what you're doing, like, the last thing I remember, it was, like basically, why I stopped was the game told me, "Go find these 4 impossible things to find." And I was like, "Okay, thank you for letting me play you for a little while, but I must be going."
But it's like I said, the updates of that game is freaking awesome. Like I just want to keep. I really, if I had the
Oh,
time, like
they
you're right.
updated it. Yeah, I every time, like, I've put it back on and just played around, it's like, "What the hell was I doing?" I
Yeah.
had, like, this huge project going on. It's a
You
game that requires your, like, regular
got to
playing
schedule
in
your
order
time.
to
You got to schedule
really?
like a daily, like a weekly session, so
It's
you
It's not a game you can just jump back into. They
no.
even though, like, every improvement that they've made or every update has been, like, vast improvements
Like I have
and
to say,
amazing
our
stuff.
we played the multiplayer when it first came out. I remember we both rushed out to buy it just so we could play it together. And
Yes.
I that was probably one of my favorite experiences. But then we never played it again. I don't know why. It's so hard coordinating those kind of like that kind of a game. Like it is hard
Yeah.
to coordinate it for some reason because it's something that's like a feeling where you're just like I feel like playing No Man's Sky, but then I'm like, well, Paul, are you feeling like playing like No Man's Sky right now? And it's like, well, no, I can't. It's like 10 o'clock
I
at
can
night.
get myself into the mood to play it, but no, I mean, it's fun, and I honestly, the last time I put it in and tried, I was like, I would probably start over at this
Yeah,
point,
I,
even though I have so much stuff and I've done so much. I've got so many freaking ships and frigates. But I don't have enough fuel to fuel any of them, like, at this point, I'm like, I have this dead fleet floating above a planet. I did kinda, like, try to start over, where I just put in, like, take me to a random place in the galaxy, like, I went through the portal,
yeah.
I think, and it just, like, landed me somewhere, it was like, "Where do you wanna go?" And I'm like, "Oh, how far can I jump to?" And I just jumped to a system that I had no way of getting back to where I was. And, I was like, "I guess I'm starting over," and I started a little bit, and it was, like, very half-hearted. It was like, "Okay." I had, like, a shelter with, 1 console in there and the landing pad, and that was it.
Well, the thing about that game, there's too many. You have to like kind of really. It's like
You're
it's
fine.
a you have to focus your time on the things that you find important. So like I remember like you start the game, it's like oh you can do because I remember when I first played the game like way back when it first launched, it didn't have all these like building houses and all that stuff. And
Oh,
honestly,
yes.
I kind of like that a little bit more than the current version. Not that the current version is amazing. Like don't get me wrong, but as far as like my way of playing a game, it's like oh no, you have a ship and you have a gun and you combine. Here it had like more like direction of
Yes,
what to do versus like, well, here's this thing and here's this thing and here's this thing. Now build a machine that's gonna make the other machines, and now build this machine that's gonna make that
exactly.
machine, and build a
Oh,
machine that's gonna
god.
make all these machines, and then forget that. And then like now you can have companions. Now you can ride things. Now
Ugh.
you can do this. It's like, well, how do I learn all this stuff?
Seriously. Where I left the game, I had, like, my home planet, like, the best version of it I had. Yeah, had come so far from when it was just the beginning of like, "Oh, I want a few things so that I can be comfortable while I explore planets." And now it was like, I have this, like, huge citadel silo with, like, ladders going up to different levels, like it's some child's, playhouse
Hmm.
with everyone like a scientist or somebody that I recruited to come and like work on my base. So there's like live like beings that I'm like responsible for now. And I'm like, come on. I don't want to do this anymore. It becomes like work. And
The thing I like the most, and I
I
would love to
bailed,
go.
bailed.
Yeah, well, so did I. So don't feel
Really.
bad. The thing that I wanted to do in that game, though, the thing I loved was like finding like languages and like
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
building the
learning more.
languages and finding like the little like relics or the artifacts of like ancient races, and like I love that part of it. It's just like then I remember
It
like
gets
but then I would find this like gold mine, and I would just like go just dig for gold forever. Like for what I don't know.
Oh, exactly. It's like you come across, like or one of the ones that you need for, like, reactor fuel, and it's like, "Yep, staying right here,
Yeah.
gonna mine all this." But those interactions with NPCs do get pretty repetitive too, and a lot of
Mm,
the time, you can understand what they're saying, and they don't understand you.
yeah.
You can, I guess, build your language up to the point where you are fluent and understand everything that they say, and they understand you. That would take so long because you're literally learning it one word at a time.
All right, Paul. When we doing this? When we doing playing favorites No Man's Sky Let's Play? Let's go. Let's do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do it together. And we'll just now we'll just like we'll just go ride on dinosaurs and stuff
Yeah,
and
sure. Yeah.
feed animals and
I'm
just
sure
have
if we
fun.
committed to it, we'd get a good following. I'm sure.
Okay. We'll do maybe,
we'll
maybe.
we'll find these. We'll be on this. No, the whole premise is to find these four mystery things that you're trying to find.
Oh my gosh. No, it was like another thing. It's like I have to build like 4 things before I get the thing that I need. It's like I have to do this, then I'll have the materials to find this, which will lead me to this. It was just MacGuffin hunts,
All
man.
right. Well,
But
I
yeah.
think we should take a break so we can go on some MacGuffin hunts
Phew,
and help you find this. So, how about we just go do that, and we'll come back from space and go talk about more animal mentions.
sounds good.
Hey, Justin, do you remember that time you played video games all day and night?
I mean, which one? I do that a lot.
Ugh, the one you did for charity.
Oh, you mean this one?
Oh, yes, this one.
You're right. This was a great night of gaming. I did a lot of good that night. I raised like $600 for children's hospitals just playing video games. It was
Oh,
a great time. We should do it again, I think.
there was only some kind of holiday coming up in the near future that we could center it around.
I mean,
Hmm.
conveniently, there's Star Wars Day that's coming up here very soon.
Well, Justin, I think that that might be a good time for us on Saturday, May 6th.
Yeah, I think we should do it. Are you going to come?
I am definitely joining you for this, maybe in person or maybe via satellite, but we will be doing this together.
That sounds awesome. And let me just give you all the details of what
Mhm.
to expect. So if you don't know what Extra Life is, it's an organization. It brings a bunch of gamers together worldwide. People do charity streams throughout the year to help raise money for children's hospitals. Last year, it was our first year doing it for Playing Favorites. I was at a 24-hour event. We raised $600. So we thought we'd do another one at the beginning of the year just to kind of start off the year strong. We're both huge Star Wars fans, so we thought we'd do it around Star Wars Day. That's why we're doing May 6th. It's Saturday, so we can do it longer and help us by just donating. They're going to have some incentives of silly things we'll do on stream just to make it more exciting, kind of help promote the donation. But then we also have some prizes from some people out there that are looking forward to the next Star Wars video game, Jedi Survivor. So we're just doing some really fun stuff that day. So again, if you want to donate now, you can. You can just go to that link right below here. Or if you can watch us live, you can go to our YouTube channel during the stream, maybe subscribe and get a notification so you know when we're going to start. But you can also watch this stream over on the Extra Life page as well. So may the force be with you, and hopefully we see you on May 6th.
Welcome back. All right, Justin. Let's hear your other honorable mention.
Do you think it's on the shelf I got behind me?
I don't know. I can't see that. There's a lot of Wii games you said that.
Yeah, no, it's not a Wii game. Yeah, you seen the GameCube games?
Oh, is it a GameCube game?
So I could
I know what it is.
I have two honorable mentions left, but I'm going to do this one first. I know you have only one left, but I won't spend so much time on it. You have a guess? You said
I think I have a guess.
it's a GameCube
But
game. What's your guess?
my guess is Pikmin.
No, I beat Pikmin.
Did? Okay.
I 100% to Pikmin. I did not play Pikmin 2, so I guess that'd be a game I'd like to go back to. But you know what? I played
All right.
Pikmin 3, so therefore I don't really need to go back to it. And there's a Pikmin 4 coming out. So
Sure.
there's your answer there. No,
Looks fun.
the game that I honestly think is highly underrated. I wish
Okay.
people didn't hate it as much as it did. Or, well, I don't say hate, but I feel like it should have been more appreciated when it released. And that's Super Mario Sunshine.
You never finished it.
Never finished it. I never got
Oh.
to the end because technically I didn't own a GameCube because it was my brother's. And I just like, I was trying to get every single thing. And I remember like, I loved that game. Like I love the gameplay. I love Flood. I love the whole like weird uniqueness of it. Like I don't know. I really enjoy Super Mario Brothers.
It's different.
This is probably like what a hot take is what they call it, right?
I guess.
I
Sure.
like this way more than Galaxy.
I won't. I won't bat an eye at that because Galaxy is not as fun as people remember.
Yeah,
It's okay. It's all right. Don't get me wrong.
I love Galaxy. It's
But
fun.
I'll give Mario Sunshine the credit for being a new kind of Mario game to play.
Hmm.
I'll give it the credit for being like for its ingenuity of like how do we change the style of Mario games? Like let's introduce something like that. And that's really what um Odyssey is based on, right? Like here is an object that changes the nature of playing a Mario game. Like Mario usually doesn't throw stuff,
Yeah,
like that, or like
yeah,
become things. He's like turning into Kirby almost.
yeah. I
So
mean,
yeah,
the gravity of Galaxy was great, and technically, I never beat Galaxy 2, which I thought was kind of a weird thing to do is have a Galaxy 2.
no,
But
that
I heard
was
that one was way better than 1, even though I just
okay.
never finished it.
I never tried
Um,
it.
but I love Sunshine. I thought just like the environment of it, like the fact that it was Bowser Jr. kind of as the bad guy who had a voice. To be honest, like
Yeah.
the first time he had like dialogue in a Mario game, like just having like the Dark Mario thing, it was like everything was like oddly unique and different compared to and then you gotta think that was the jump from 64 Mario
Yep.
to Mario
Just like
Sunshine. That was a drastic jump of like art style and graphics and just everything. And I loved it. I just never was able to beat it because I'd only play it like in installments at my brother's house. And I remember getting like hitting a wall on this like one like they had these like levels where you like suck in a warm pipe and then these just like be floating block levels that they just like blocks flying in space. And
yes.
like I remember there was
Absolutely.
like one that was hard. It was like the shape of a bird, and I could not freaking beat that thing. And I was like so mad and frustrated. And then I go back to college, and then come back from college, and then somehow I just never went back to it. I never finished it and never completed it. I probably was really close to beating it, and then I just missed the boat, I guess, on doing it. But I wish I could have beaten it because I think it was. I would love to see the ending. I don't even know how it ends. Like I have no clue. I mean, I know it's not about story, but like I don't remember. I don't know I don't even know what the boss fight looks like. I have no idea.
Sure. Sure.
Um, but
And
yeah,
hey,
I couldn't think
yeah.
of a better option than this because I was trying to bring like because there's a lot of like recent games I haven't finished, 'cause especially with like the access like PlayStation Plus and all that stuff. You like start a game for like 4 hours, like hey, it's fun, but never beat it. But like
Mhm.
Sunshine is like one that I'm just like, man, that deserved way more love because I just like everything about it was kind of neat.
And that's like how you appreciate something way, like a long time after the game has come out. And I think, around the same time you're looking at two jumps that are very similar from the 64 to GameCube. So Zelda in the same vein went the cell shading, bright colors, and that's what Mario Sunshine was like, bright colors, like a lot of reflective
Yeah,
graphics. Like it looked cool. It looked cool. And Zelda went in a similar direction too, and both were drastic changes from the previous games in a lot
yeah,
of ways. So yeah, the GameCube was like this, like let's experiment with color and what a Mario game has to be or what a Zelda game has to be.
yeah,
So no, without those games, you can't have fun games like Odyssey or Breath of the Wild until you're able to like kind of bend the genre a little bit. So yeah, no, I think that's a great choice. I don't know if I would recommend you going back and playing it again. I remember seeing somebody get stuck. I think it was actually Game Grumps, not somebody I know. But watching Game Grumps, they got stuck on the floating blocks where it looked like a pinball machine, like with the bumpers and everything, and
Okay.
he just kept dying. It was
Yeah, it's
so
hard. Yeah, there's some hard part.
painful to watch.
Well, I think that's why I liked it too, because it was challenging, right? Because it
Mhm.
wasn't like, I mean, 64 is pretty easy. Like, I mean, like going back to 64 because we were
It progresses at a nice gentle pace, so
yeah,
you get better
and I
in the
would
game.
say Galaxy was pretty easy, to be
Yeah.
honest. And even Odyssey was. I mean, there were some moments that are like if you go deep into it, there's like an end game that I've never finished, but like you get like the dark side of the moon and stuff in that game. But like,
Yes, those are difficult, but those are like just boss rush types of
yeah,
challenges. They're not like, here's a challenging level to play. Like
yeah,
I've gotten through, I guess I've 100%ed Odyssey. It's your copy of Odyssey 2, which I think I need to get back to
it's
you.
okay. You got all
Uh,
999 moons.
no, now that's the last thing to do.
Yeah,
Like I've been like you fight the brutals again on the dark side of the moon,
yeah,
and it's tough. It is
yeah.
really tough.
But no,
But
no.
that's it.
Sunshine is just that one that I just like. 'Cause I played a lot of Mario games. I've beaten a lot of Mario games, but just some reason just never got a chance to beat Sunshine. And I think it deserves that. You're right. It's harder to go back. I did technically sort of dabble going back because my brother got the anniversary collection on the Switch that had all three games in it, and I played it a little bit like through like just the Switch, but like I only played like the first like hour or whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever finish it though.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's very funny that you picked a Super Mario Brother or Super Mario game because I was kind of deciding on which one to bring up next.
Oh,
You solved it for me, so I'll keep in the same vein, and I'm sure you have an experience with this game too, and it's Super Mario Brothers 2 for the
oh,
NES.
I beat that though.
I have never beaten it. I have
I was excited.
gotten close, I guess, but I've never beaten it. I really there's a point in that game that I've just never seen beyond, and I know that there are more levels.
Yeah,
I just never played it, and it's never one of those games that I'm like with Switch, you can basically emulate the game, just play it, but I just I don't have much to
I
say about
do.
it except it's
Do you
fun,
know the
but I wanna
ending?
see
Do you know
Mario
the?
wake up from the dream. Yeah,
Oh,
like I
you
know.
know it's a dream.
It's
Okay, well, because
it's
yeah, because
spoiled
that.
for me. Well, that's the only thing that makes sense that this could exist. This other game that was made and that they put
Yeah,
Mario's
I
on
know.
it.
I don't remember the boss fight being anything special. Like, I'll be quite honest with you. Like, I remember beating it though. Like, I was like, "Yay, I did it! Yay, awesome day, woo!" But,
Not like
um,
that's so weird, like jumping on them and like pulling things from underneath you and like throwing them.
I love that game though. I have to say, like, I enjoyed it, and I would have never played it if Mario wasn't in it though. Like, it's the thing. Like, I would never have touched the game. I wasn't gonna
Exactly.
play Doki Doki Family or whatever it was called.
Doki Doki Family Game Night Famicom. Like that's the name. That's the
But
official name.
like I'm always a big fan of the weird games. Like I guess like people like well the un like un the mainstream like best of like I like
The un-
Majora's Mask more than Ocarina of Time. I liked whatever. I was
it's
like
not the gameplay. I'm sure you're fine with it. The game is just ugly to look at. I can't do
you did not have the expansion pack then.
it.
But no, like I liked Linked Adventure a lot compared to
Mhm.
some other people just didn't like it because they thought maybe it was too hard, too different.
Yeah.
But yeah, same thing with Mario 2. I love that game, but I think that was more well loved. I think in the States, I think people like were just excited to have a second Mario game.
Yeah.
So like,
Just the popularity of Mario.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember being so stoked when that was released and announced, and you get into it and you get to select being Peach. Like, come on, it was so neat.
And Peach are like, oh, okay. And Peach is like the best character too,
Yeah,
by the
she
way.
is. She floats. Why
Yes,
would
she
you be
does.
anyone else? You could literally go across the whole screen with just floating.
My gosh, yes. I would my cousins had it. I would just watch them play and be like, "What? Like you could do that with her?" I remember like seeing them.
And I'll have to now I'm remembering things. I feel like I used warp pipes to beat it too, because I learned all the warp because you can
Yes.
jump levels.
Warp pipes, or are they warp pottery?
Vases,
Right?
the vases.
Balls.
Vases. But you had Birdo was introduced in that game, which is
Yep.
funny because Birdo and Shy
We
Guys
took
are
it.
like they're like a part
Yeah,
of Mario now, and they weren't really
they were
supposed to
never
be.
meant to be. Yes, we
Like,
took them.
is there
That's what
anything
Mario.
that's Mario related except for Mario? In like, it's just the protagonists are just they're the same, right? I think there's a mushroom.
There are mushrooms, but I'm like, it's like they could have been anything. And the mushrooms are rare. Coins. You're using coins and hearts for health. So could have been
I
anything.
love the secret door things. Like those are great because you had like the little
Oh,
potion you throw down.
yes. And if you did it in like after, yes, yes, all sorts of stuff you could unlock. Like the
Sure.
rockets. Yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
also
it's
the mouse with sunglasses. I think that was used in like the Game Boy games, I think, in Mario
oh
Land.
the what's his
You know what I'm talking
name?
about?
He's like the boss, right? The mouse is he was in the
He's one of the
animated.
bosses.
He was in the cartoon.
Yes, he
I'm
was.
I can't remember if he was in other games though. I don't think he's
I
ever
don't
been in another game though that I could think of.
Okay. I
Because
do remember.
you also had like the snake thing that was in there. That was in there too.
Oh, I
Um,
like those faces that would follow you out of the
what
vases.
I find funny is that they would follow around Bowser in the show, not the Frog King dude, whatever his name was.
Oh, is that the end boss, the
Yeah,
Frog
it's a
King?
frog thing. It's like a frog.
Okay.
I have to see
Like
if I
the
can.
Frog Prince, like from The Princess and the Frog.
Let's see, Mario 2 boss. What is his name? Uh, let's see, final boss. Final boss. I saw a
Mr.
picture of him. Wart is a wart.
Of course, should have known.
Wart. I vaguely remember this. Oh, and then you had a flying. There was like these masks on the wall that would shoot, like fly around and shoot things at you.
That's what I was saying. When you take the key out of the vase, those masks that follow you,
Oh, I missed that
like
part.
they
I'm sorry.
leave.
Sorry.
Anyway, that's enough about Super Mario Brothers 2. That's all I needed to say about it.
Okay.
I want to see. I guess I just want to see Mario wake up from the dream. But anyways, what's your you got one more honorable
Okay.
mention?
So oddly enough, this is a shout out because I have one that's I like more for an honorable mention than I have a favorite. So I want to shout out Knights of the Old Republic because I've never finished that game and I feel like I
Right.
need to as a Star Wars fan. But honestly, like I love that game. I played it like back in college, way after it came out though. I mean, really, it's just like beginner's Mass Effect. I mean, it's literally Mass Effect, but with
Yeah.
lightsabers. But like the gameplay is a little old and dated, but like it's still a great story and still like that Mass Effect feel. And I'd be curious. I always keep telling myself I want to go back and play it, but I never can like get myself to like commit to it at the same time. They said they're going to make a remake for it. They announced
Yes.
that a couple years ago, but then that company got like banished from making it. Like they were doing like horrible things and they got kicked out. So no one really knows
Oh,
at this
what's it
time
say? Yeah. Like
what's going on with that game because they did this trailer and then like Aspire, which is the company, the developer, they just like got like removed from being able to make it. So
what things were they doing? Were they
oh, I don't know the story. I don't remember.
all right? I'll look it up.
Yeah, you go look it
I'll
up.
try to
Go look it
figure it
up.
out.
I don't know if it was like I don't know if it was like bad. I think there was I know they were made some like they weren't like great. They were doing a lot of the ports and they made some mistakes there. But anyways, I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
I was surprised that they were given the rights to make it because they didn't really have any kind of a resume that showed like you should be remaking Knights of the Old Republic. I mean, it's a very revered game.
Took a chance on them. Didn't pay off.
Yeah. So I mean, I wanted to shout that out because obviously as a Star Wars fan, it is kind of like one of the people would consider maybe the best Star Wars game. Some people on some people's lists. It's not mine, but like it is considered like people's favorite.
Cool story.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you know, I feel like knowing the ending makes it kind of less exciting. And then there's the
Yeah.
second one too, which I would love to try as well. I don't even know much about the story on that one. But my other honorable mention is more of a retro game,
Sure.
and this has like that and we've had. I'll just to show this game is like for Horizon Zero Dawn,
Okay, and that you'd get to a certain point, and then
and
just for
restart it,
whatever reason, just and then
restart,
start again
restart,
and
and
the same
restart,
point.
and restart, and
So
restart.
you have your own Returnal, experience with playing this
Well, no,
game.
not Returnal, but like, well, I would get stuck at a certain point and just never finish it, and then I would just like come back 3 years later and just start over again. If you still yet to finish it,
And what is that game?
Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Oh, yeah, I that was on one of my shout outs. I've never, like, formally finished it.
But like the thing is, it's like it was such a moment. Like it was, I remember the marketing for that was great, and like I was excited. I was a big Zelda fan. I love Link, love Zelda game. I think the thing that hurt me with that game was I didn't initially have a Super Nintendo, so I
Mhm.
couldn't get the game right away. I would just play it at my cousin's house, or like play a little bit, like or play a little bit here and there. And then finally, my cousin let me borrow the Super Nintendo, and I had access to the game, and I got pretty far in it. And I think I hit like one dungeon that was maybe a little hard or something, and just you kind
Oh,
of put
yeah.
it down,
Mhm.
never got back. Fast forward to the Wii days, I buy it on the Wii console, like the virtual
Oh, yes,
the
yes, yes.
virtual console, and I try to do
Completely.
that. I get really far. I go pretty quick. I think it's when you get to the Dark World, when you start having to look for like the seven sages or whatever, like every
Oh
game.
god,
I
yeah.
just like I think I just got like burnt out by like, all right, well the dungeon's the same sounding dungeon, like like
Now you gotta go
it
get these medals. Yes, yes,
yeah.
I
So it's like
remember. Oh,
I think like I love just exploring the whole world, and when you start like when it completely opens up and you've like kind of been everywhere pretty much, and you hit this one dungeon that's kind of hard, like I just give up, and like I just stop or put it away. I'm like, I'll come back. And I love the sound of that game. The music's great. The concept of the game is so unique and great, and it's such a again big jump from Legend of Zelda top down to Link to the Past. It's dramatically, graphically great, and I
yes.
still think it looks great. I still have no. I think it's a fun game to play. I enjoyed the Master Sword. I enjoyed all the abilities you get, all the creatures that are in it, all the secrets in it. There's really nothing I can say is wrong with the game, except maybe it's a little bit too repetitive at the end. But I
It is
just
very repetitive. I don't feel bad about that. This is why I don't like this game.
oh okay.
I've decided to not like this game anymore, um, because it is just the same game twice. Like, that's really
I
what it
see.
boils down to,
Okay, that
you
makes
know?
sense.
I just like, I always thought like, "Oh, it's cool, more game, like, more," like, ugh, but, like, at the same time,
Yeah, it
like,
does.
come on,
It
there's
overstays its welcome.
nothing different. In the like, they just and it's not like there's any, like, real, like, discovery, they just, like, show you where everything is. It's like, "Oh, well, you have to go to these 7 places. Here, I'll put them on your map." It's like, "Alright, okay.
We're gonna make somebody so mad right now.
I don't care. I don't care.
Oh, I don't
I
care
don't care.
either. I
I'm
just
never
say
gonna go back and play this game.
like
I'm
like
never
the
gonna
thing
go
is
back and
like
play
the
it."
thing that makes it. You're right. You have a point because it's like I love Legend of Zelda One.
Yeah.
I love Link's Awakening, which is
Mhm.
again top down, and I beat the Game Boy version,
Yes.
and I beat the remake. And honestly, I loved the Oracle games. I never finished the. There
What
was a
about, the Sages of Oracle, like, in the,
yeah, the Oracle games, the Oracle of
yeah,
Time and the Oracle
Oracle
Seasons.
Seasons, yep,
And
no,
I
I was
beat
just thinking about
Seasons.
the
I beat Seasons. I didn't beat the
okay.
other one.
You didn't try Spirit Tracks or Minish Cap? Minish
I
Cap
did.
is really good.
I know, like I had a DS late, and I never went and got any of the DS games. And I have access to Minish Cap now. I might try it out.
It's fun. It was fun.
Um,
It was a
Oh
cool
no, that was the Minish Cap was GBA. I just didn't buy a lot of
yep,
GBA games when I had GBA. And
um,
I missed out on what you call it too, the Link Between Worlds. I missed out on that one,
that was really cool. I got that one for my nephew, and I just watched him play, like, a lot of it.
which is like kind of a
It's
remake of Link to the Past, kind of too. I
it's
guess.
but it's better, and
Yeah,
it has a really good story, and it is not MacGuffin heavy, and they introduced the mechanic of not discovering or finding or even buying equipment, you just rent it. So,
Yeah,
like,
no,
if you
you can
need
go, you
like,
can
you
go
can
and
go and you can get, like, the things that you need for this particular,
because it
like,
allows you to
challenge
go in
or
any order, right? That's kind of what they're
yeah,
trying to do. Yeah.
yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
I think the
interesting.
good thing with Link to the Past that kind of bugged me was like I would get lost sometimes. Like I didn't know where to go
Mhm.
in certain situations. It's like or how to get to the thing they're telling me to go to. Like you'd have to
Yes.
run around like this long way around to get to the place. And
You'd get blocked in one way that you couldn't, like, lift those giant things in the way yet, or you didn't have the hammer and could
yeah,
stamp things.
I-
So you'd have to, like, find a way around, and yeah,
yeah,
it's just a lot.
yeah. So
And then what do you do?
I still
Oh, look
love the
for
game.
another sure,
Still love
it's
the
got great
game.
music, great sound effects, like you were saying.
Yeah,
No doubt, no
yeah.
doubt.
Get that?
I'm gonna throw a shout out here with you
Okay.
that's, in a similar vein, and that's Chrono Trigger. I've never finished it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, very, very cool looking game, very interesting story. I just it's like I'd start it, and then I would stop, and I wouldn't go back.
I
And I would do
yeah,
the same thing. I'd start a new game, and I'd be like, "I'm gonna do it this time." Like, 5 years later, nope, same thing happens. Around the same spots too, I'd be like, not so interested anymore." Just walk away.
Chrono Trigger was an emulator game for me, and that like I've never finished any emulator game. Like I
Not
just
RPGs. Like, it was
yeah,
good for, like, playing, like, fighting games or, like, I remember playing the Gundam Wing fighting game on the emulator, but
did a lot of
for, like
Dragon Ball Z fighting games on the emulator. That was
yes,
good times.
but, like, to do an RPG,
Yeah,
it was never really that great.
yeah.
I mean, I replayed FF6 or 3 on that, but I even that I didn't no, I did finish it the first time I did that, but, like, it was like I did it once because I really liked that game,
Sure.
and I couldn't play it any other way, like, I didn't have the ability to play it anymore, so
I think you watched me play or finish that game, or I had it on the GBA, so I'd play it on the Game Boy Advanced
yes.
GameCube
Yeah,
adapter thing. Like I finally beat Final Fantasy 3,
yep,
slash 6. But yeah, no, Chrono Trigger. I know it's revered, and I've always like been interested to try that kind of a game. If it was
yeah,
on like the Switch or on the console, I'd get it. I'd play it maybe, but I've heard
yeah,
great things about it. But yeah, I just never got a chance to go farther than like maybe the first 15 minutes because I just play the emulator.
yeah. I yeah, that's just one of them. I'm gonna throw out, maybe this is you too, if you've had this, experience with some Rockstar games where it's a cool idea, you start playing it, and you get, like
I've never finished a Rockstar game, so
that's the thing, mine is GTA 4, and I love the GTA games from 3, Vice City, San Andreas. I played the shit out of all of those games,
I know
like,
you did.
ridiculous.
You
Um,
tried so hard to get me to get like sucked in, and I couldn't. Well, you didn't force me, but it's
no,
like
well, they had good story too, like, they
yeah,
were fun, and they had interesting, like, each one had it got, like, better and better graphically, musically, and, like, what you could do in the game, so it made, like, exploring and just messing around much more fun. By the time you get to San Andreas, you're, like, flying a jet, like, around,
yeah.
like, the California desert.
Oh, did you see what they
Uh,
can do at GTA 5 now?
that's the thing, it's like GTA 4 was, like, almost there, like, you were getting almost to GTA 5 level of stuff. The story was interesting with Nico, but like, they introduced the cell phone, and you're, like, calling and, like, hanging out with people, and it was very, like excuse me, they emphasized a lot of, like, the social elements of, like, your, building relationships with people, all the people around you, and I just got bored. I
Yeah.
just got bored. It felt too much it felt almost too real, like, I don't play these games to text people and ask if they wanna go bowling. I do that in real life, like, why would I wanna do
Could you
this?
bowl in GTA 4?
Mhm.
Curious. You can bowl? Oh wow.
Oh, you can bowl, you can go play darts, you can and what's it when you ask your cousin, Roman, because they're both, like, from Eastern European countries, it's like he's like, "Roman, what let's go bowling. Let's go bowling, Nico." Like, it sounds like our video of, like, "Bowling,
Oh, that one.
how
Okay, yeah.
about bowling?"
Oh
It's very
man.
funny, but yeah.
Um
I do have one more honorable mention, and then we gotta
Oh, you
we really
do.
must
You have another one. I
start.
want to do a shout out really
Yes,
quick. I got
please,
a
please,
couple shout outs.
burn some more.
So one you maybe remember a shout out, but the other one I was going to bring up is Bloodborne.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's time
Another
investment.
it's another one of those hard games. Like I stopped playing the game because I was staying up to 2 in the morning trying to beat the same thing over and over again. And there's a part of me that kind of wants to go back and finish it because it's like once you get past that first little like alley of villagers, that's where most people only play that first alley and then they put it down. That's what happened to me.
Okay.
The game just like opens up and gets so weird and wonky and just visually intriguing and entertaining and just so unique in the way the world just kind of wraps around itself and like you find shortcuts back to where you wrap around, like you go through all this stuff and then it's like, oh, this place ends up here, you're back to the beginning, but now I can wrap around. It's like it's neat. The level design in that game is top tier. Like it is amazing. But I
Oh,
just I just hit like some too hard bosses that I just couldn't. I just
physically couldn't do it
like
anymore.
one was an optional boss, and I kept spending time on the optional boss because I was there and I found the optional boss first, and
Yeah.
I was like close to beating it. Like like we've been playing God of War recently, and
Oh, yeah.
like you get that like sliver of health left. You're like, oh, I'll try one more time. I'll try one more time. I'll try one more time, and then just like give up. Okay, all right. Let me just go other places. Just take a break from that boss. I find this other boss. Keep trying that boss over and over and over again. And these bosses are wild. Like they're nuts. It's
Yeah.
hard. But
I
like
mean, it's a really of bosses, like, that's what's really
yeah.
the
But Bloodborne I was amazed how much I liked it. Like I'm impressed by it. It's just I don't have the stamina yet. Maybe I'm gonna try again someday. We'll see.
you don't wanna physically, like, actually hurt your health in the process of
But
this.
since
Like,
then I
they got
play yeah. It's not like I hurt my health. It's just that I gotta find the way to do that game. It's hard to play it during the day too, because it's not like the most like kid
no,
friendly
not on
thing.
yeah, not on a sunny, bright day, children playing
But
Bloodborne.
on the other one that you don't spend a lot of time talking about is I wanted to say Final Fantasy 12 because I never finished it, and
Yes.
yeah, I know you like that game, but
Okay.
I don't want to spend time. It's a good game. I should have finished it, but missed the boat.
I gotta throw one last one in there, and it's a game that I've never played any of the ones before. It's Just Cause 3.
Oh, okay, yeah,
1 and 2, I guess, are really fun, and Just Cause 3 is super fun.
yeah.
And in
Good thing
fact,
about that.
I feel like you could pop it in, I would play the heck out of it and just keep playing it because there's no like, the story is good, but I just, like, got to a certain point where, like, I didn't care about the story anymore, like, it's not good enough. Like, because what you can do, like, there's the way that you traverse that, game is so fun, like, I've never gotten around a world so quickly in any game. You have a wingsuit, you've got a zip line thing, you can get into just about any vehicle,
Yeah,
and you can do and a parachute thing that you can use to, like, actually, like, kind of keep going, even if you're falling. It's wild how far you can really go without ever touching the ground, and that in itself is what you, like, try to do. Like, so that's all it ended up turning into. It would devolve into me just messing around, and, it'd be, like, 2 hours later, I'm like, "Okay, I'm done," and, like, story progress 0%,
I think that's the
like,
one that had the Lost Island on it in it too. Like you could find one of the Just Cause games. You could find the Lost Island, and there's the hatch that's on the island. It's kind of neat. Yeah.
"Oh, cool. I don't know if I can
I
check that out again." I still have it, I could just download it and start it at any
yeah.
time, pick up where I left off, but it's all about, like, explosion and mayhem and, like, you
Yeah.
just, like, what you can blow up
Yeah,
and what you
they
can
made a
do.
fourth one. I don't think it did that well. Ubisoft is just kind of a weird company now. Like it just
What's going on?
yeah, I mean they got Assassin's Creed does well still. I mean that does okay and then they're making more, but like I just nothing that Ubisoft does anymore just excites me, but it's cool. I know those are really popular. I never played them though, so I don't know.
Well, alright, Justin, I gave you my last honorable mention. It wasn't very honorable, but it was worth mentioning.
Okay.
Are you ready to share your favorite game that you've never finished?
I am, and it's not just one game. It's a
Oh,
genre.
oh?
My answer is a genre of games.
Oh, really? What's your genre?
My favorite unfinished game are MMORPGs. That being said, is Knights of the Old Republic and Final Fantasy 14. There's two games.
14?
Yes.
Which one was 14?
The one that is insanely popular and it's a massive, or it's an MMO.
Oh, okay. That's not the one with lightning?
No, that's 13.
That's 13.
Yeah,
Okay.
14 is only online. You can't play the single player. There's no single player.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I got 14 for the PS4, 2015 maybe.
Okay.
And it's the first like MMO RPG game that I it's like you can play it on console, and you
Yeah.
can play it solo. You don't need to play with people. You really don't. Like you have to still. The thing that sucks is you have to buy a subscription. You have to pay, $15 a month to play it.
Hey, that's how they used to do those anyway.
Yeah,
So
they still do it that way.
yeah.
It hasn't changed. And like it's improved so much, and it becomes like, from my understanding, the thing that makes me sad about specifically more so Final Fantasy 14 than Star Wars Old Republic. I feel like I haven't finished Star Wars Republic only because these games never really end, kind of like No Man's Sky. So
Sure.
like they keep
It might have
adding.
like some kind of, formal ending, but
They
yeah,
have an
they
ending,
keep
and then they
going.
make a new story. So like it's just like
Yeah.
another season comes out.
Sure.
Where Old Republic, I chunk a lot of time in there. I beat the base game. I even beat the first expansion. I beat the game with two different classes because it had different story. It had
Ooh,
different stories depending on which class you play. There was different thing that happened,
okay.
and that Old Republic is still, I think, the best BioWare game ever made. I actually,
Mm.
because like it's the fact that it was like fully voiced. I went back and played it again, like maybe last year because it's free to play now.
Yeah.
And I'm just amazed at how much audio dialogue per game that came out in 2012 there is. Everyone
Well,
talks. Every
that's
single character talks. It is insane. Like there's
even the
never a point.
droids too, right?
Yeah. The way they
Yeah.
get around it for like certain things is you might find a data pad and you have to read what's on the data pad. But if there's a
Yeah.
person, they will talk.
They will talk. You will hear a voice.
No
An
matter
actual
what. They will never do
voice.
like text in replace of talking. Where Final Fantasy 14 does that, which is fine, but like they have a lot of dialogue and audio, and I guess they've gotten better as you go deeper into the expansion. But like the base game, like you have like scenes where they're really cool cinematic, but then you'll just have like side things where they just have like a little cinematic, but it's just then there's no audio coming out of their mouths. It's just text.
They wait till either right before or right after to actually have the conversation.
So, and
That's
it's
funny.
like, and my friend that's really into that, like he says, like as you go deeper into the story, the later expansions, they tend to avoid doing the text and they focus on more audio. But like
That's
more
pretty cool.
specifically, Final Fantasy 14, I am amazed and impressed by, just because it was canceled. They destroyed it. Like they got rid of it. It failed.
Yes.
It broke.
Eliminated it.
And like literally the game itself, like story, is based on that destruction, which I find hilarious. Like that they do that.
Because I remember you bringing this up on the show before, specifically that, like the fact that the game, that they incorporated that the game broke in real life somehow into like, this is like a realm shattered, or what is it?
It's called Realm Reborn. Yeah, so
that's it.
Because they realized that the response to their initial launch was just like horrendous, I guess, and they didn't want it to be the final product because of how bad the feedback. So they just, they just honestly probably the best decision ever, because they said, we're gonna just to get rid of it and we're gonna start over. And so they had
it's not a bad idea for a game to do that. Sonic, what was it? Sonic Boom? Yeah. Could have just scrapped it.
Scrapped it.
Once people started actually playing it and like, wow, this is like 15 frames per second, they should have just been like, you know what? We owe these people better. Start it over.
But I just
nice.
Being a Final Fantasy, I just want to have a few more things. Like if you being a Final Fantasy fan, like I never got to play 11. Like, I missed that one because that was another MMO, right? So like I was so excited that it was on the PS4. Because it's like, oh, I don't have to be a PC. I can play it with a controller. And just the gameplay using a controller, usually with MMOs, you're like, how do you play a game with a controller with MMO? Because you have to like click all the abilities with the big taskbar and all this stuff. But they do it real. They make it really easy to do, where it's like you could access the abilities really easily and just play the game. And then the story gets really interesting and really good. And like I beat the base game. I've gone a little bit of the expansion, but I haven't gone to the Nexus like the patches. But I put a ton of hours in this game, but it's so hard to like get to that end. From my understanding, like there's like 5 expansions to this game. If I only beat the base game and I'm almost to the first expansion. And my people have been saying that the story in Final Fantasy 14 is the best Final Fantasy story ever. Like
Really?
that's what people say that get to that point. If you get to the very end of like where they're currently at, because it's still an ongoing game and never ends, that it's like the most like epic, amazing Final Fantasy thing you'll ever experience. But the thing is, you have to like play the game for a very
To get
long
there.
time to get
Yeah.
there. And I will probably go back someday. I kind of do it in chunks. Like they usually do this thing, like, "Hey, come back and play for 14 days for free." And I'll play for 14 days for free,
Oh,
and then I'm like, "Oh crap, they got me." So I'm gonna just do 15 bucks and just try to think as much time into the game for like a month, and I won't play anything else. And then I'll get a little bit closer to the end. Um, and the thing with Final Fantasy 2 is I actually started over too, because I played it and then I'm like, all right, you know what? I didn't like this class. I wasn't on this like server with somebody else anymore. So I'm like, I'll just start over. And that kind of
yeah.
slowed me down too. So it's like, but I love I know I'm leaning more on Final Fantasy 14 than anything else, because I really want to see that ending that people are raving about, but I know it's
Yeah.
gonna cost me a lot to get there and, and a lot of time.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, thankfully, though, you're not limited by the technology, like, it's still being played. It's not like a game from 10 years ago that you have to,
Oh
like,
yeah, it's
either play a remake or wait for a remake
yeah.
or,
Yeah, I could go
you
back.
know,
Just it's more about the time
you can
commitment.
go back.
The time
Yeah,
commitment is the hard part. But no, MMOs,
yeah,
I love I mean I've sucked into WoW. I've sucked into, obviously Knights of the Republic and Final Fantasy 14. It's one of those things that I would love just to sing more time in. The thing that slows me down too is I don't really have people that play with. I don't
yeah,
really know
yeah.
anyone to play them with. Like I've had some occasional people that I knew, but like they don't last long enough, or don't I don't
Yes.
commit enough to them or whatever. But yeah. So MMOs, that's my answer.
Pretty interesting. MMOs but it's really Final Fantasy 14. Like,
Yeah, because
that's,
I got my fill with Knights of the Old Republic. I would love to keep playing it. It's just again another time thing. But like I
yep,
feel like I
but
got
here's
my time with
but
it.
yeah, and FF14 still has things to be revealed to you, whereas you
Sure.
already know the ending of Coder, but,
Yeah, I mean
um,
there's more story in there. Like
sure, but it's yeah, yeah, I would if you had to be like if it's like, "Oh, you must choose between these 2," I think it's pretty clear you'd
I would
pick
go 4 5 is
Final
14.
Fantasy.
Well, and
Yeah,
yeah.
very good, very good. Wow, this has been like the PlayStation and SquareSoft like, review here. We talked Chrono Trigger. Uh, so I'll tell you, Justin, I'm not sure if I would go back and play mine. I don't think I would. My
Okay.
favorite,
But still your favorite though.
and I think it's because of the limitations of the technology and just my my favorite game that I haven't finished that I wish I could finish or at least see the conclusion of is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
You have it, don't
I
you? Oh, you gave it back to
I
me.
have it. No, 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 you gave it to me, it's still there. At any time, I could pop it in and just play it. And to tell you the truth, I feel like when I tried to just, like, actually play Black Flag, I was like, "Assassin's Creed is over." Like, it's not for me anymore. Like, the story that I was invested in, it's gone.
Well, you 3 just could have put a bad taste in your mouth.
It just destroyed like, if there was any game that you could point to and say, "This destroyed a franchise," that game destroyed, um,
The
Assassin's Creed
4
for
is
me.
so good. I loved 4.
I know. I know there's so many like, the just the sailing and whale hunting and fighting other ships, all the
Eh,
stuff
this
that, like,
the
we get a
shanties.
little bit of. Yes, of course, the sea shanties that must be sung. I all the things that Assassin's Creed 3 had, but only gave you little bits of. 4 gives you way more of, because that was the feedback that they got. Your story sucked in 3, and the stuff you did in 3 also sucked. But the ships part was really good. Can you make a game about ships? And they said, okay, we'll make a game about
And guess
ships.
what? They're trying to make another game about ships called Skull and
Are they
Bones
really?
that's been in development for 10 years.
Oh, oh my God, the same one?
Yeah, they keep delaying
Jeez.
it. It's been delayed like 5 times in the past year. I mean, COVID didn't help either, but like still, like
You can't take that excuse once it's been like 15 years. COVID, you know? It's like, you've been working on this for 10
you know,
years.
I sit there and I feel you. I really I the thing is with me, like I almost brought this up as a shout out just to kind of keep in the same vein. Like I have no desire to play Syndicate. Like I like Syndicate
Nope.
or no, is it Unity? Unity or Syndicate? I don't know which
Unity
one.
Unity came first. So I think you're thinking of
No,
Unity.
I think Syndicate is the one that people actually said is very good. Like it. I think we both were like jaded and kind of like not willing to give it a chance.
Nope.
And
Okay.
I've heard that like it almost has became like it kind of meshed every single thing that we loved about Assassin's Creed as far as gameplay goes. I don't know about story, but like I want to give that one a shot. But like, yeah, I feel you though. Like we were so hyped for 3. I think we overhyped ourselves a little bit
Well,
too.
they hyped us too, man. Like we didn't over for ourselves too much. Like they were, everybody was. I mean, for God's sakes, I playing 2 and doing the puzzles for the Apple of Eden. Like Kristen was watching me play, and she
Yeah.
was interested in it. She was like, that was like I think she asked you. She was like, "Should I get Paul Assassin's Creed 3 for Christmas?" And you were like, "Absolutely." And like she was like, "I asked Justin like what games are like." It's like I figured the Assassin's Creed game, and I had to like apologize to her. I'm like, "Honey, this game sucks." I'm like, "I love you, and this is such a great gift." But you know what really helped though was the multiplayer of Brotherhood, and then there was the multiplayer for 3, and that was when we actually really started. We played a lot of that multiplayer.
Yeah.
I will give that credit where credit is due. But my favorite is Black Flag, because it did have a lot of the same elements of the previous games that I'd grown to know, grown to love. And it was in a completely different location, which was neat.
Hmm.
And uh,
It had like a Wind Waker vibe, like because you're like kind of like going around different islands and stuff and exploring, and like I like the whole pirate thing. Like it wasn't as much about assassinating, like I guess as much.
it wasn't
Uh,
really about
I
assassins
mean,
and
it kind of loosely fits because you're kind of like what the great grandfather of Connor or something, or like
something like that.
I think that was
You're
the
the
relationship.
of Hathaway, like the Templar. That's your
Um,
Nathan's father.
but like I like building the pirate like city, like the little pirate village. Like you kind of build that and stuff. And no, like and again, like when I got it too, like that was like kind of like one of the first few games the PS4 had. So it's like I got PS4 at launch. So to me, I was like all in because I was just like,
PS3. PS3 you're talking, right?
no, Black Flag was PS4.
Sure. Okay. It was PS4 game? Alright.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, but it was at launch. Okay.
yeah,
Alright, makes sense.
yes.
Sorry. Keep going.
It's
Yeah?
okay. It's so funny because I remember like I would take pictures of like this. I used the screenshot button a lot with that game because I could because it was new,
Of
and
course.
I get memories on my Facebook because it used to be connected to Facebook where I'll get a memory like, hey, here's your picture, and it's like what's his name? I don't even remember the guy's name from that game, but it's like him on a boat, like shirtless, like looking posing really nice, like
Somebody is like, "Oh, you got a photo memory? Who's that?" And you're like, shirtless video game dude. Nice. Or a dead whale. Like, it
kind of
was like,
like
"Ah, you harpooned a whale."
a nice sunset in the
Blood
background as you try
water.
to use the photo mode.
Oh, no, every now and then, like, it, like, passes, it flashes across my mind, and I remember, and I'm like, I bet it would still be fun to play. Maybe I should try it."
There's a game on here you should play instead that should have been on this list, and I'm disappointed in you.
I know. I know. I know. I'll say it.
Well, I
It's
probably thinking something different. Actually, I just remember what you're going to say now. Go ahead.
Grandia II.
Oh, I wasn't thinking that, but that's okay.
It was the game. I mean, we mentioned it last week, and it was
Yeah,
a game that really. It's not that I didn't try to finish it. I did
just try. It's hard.
like many times, but I got stuck in this place where I couldn't leave.
You know,
I couldn't leave to go level up, and beat this ridiculously hard boss. The three faces. Um, couldn't leave,
I guess you just weren't
and
good. You just weren't good
I
enough.
and when I'd game over, it was like, all right, that was it.
I had to admit that those faces were tough, and I had a hard time. But I just like somehow just
You
figured
got
it out.
lucky. You tried longer than I did. I tried for a while, but after fighting Valkyries in the God of War games, I wish I had that kind of patience. Maybe I would have gotten through it. What was the game you were thinking of here as
Miles
we're
Morales.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I really did, because I played Spider-Man and it was great, and I was like, "I'll take more, please." And then it was like, "Oh, no, actually, I had enough. I'm full. I'm full." I didn't have room
Oh,
for dessert.
I platinum both those right back to back. It was like 2 months experience. I just did everything.
Oh, yeah, I think I will go back to that. It was a neat story. I'll try, maybe. Someday someday I'll be like, "Oh, let me play one of these
Well,
games."
two's coming out this year, so
No, Spider-Man 2 is
yeah.
coming out.
Yes.
That'll be cool. That first game was so good. That storyline, so great.
Yes, I agree.
Finished.
All right, well, now I have a lot of games that I want to play.
Yes. Yes, our backlog has just we've had to face our backlog. Face it, look it in the eye.
Right behind
Say
me.
what we wrote.
All these Wii games.
Looking at it.
I've been trying to be more active. Good thing I got these Wii games. But yeah, so stay tuned to also thank you for watching us here at Playing Favorites, or listening wherever you are. If you're listening, go watch us, and if you're watching, go listen. We will be back again next week with more favorites. Until then, we will let you know about our upcoming Let's Play of No Man's Sky. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. But
it might just be a one-shot deal. We'll just have fun.
But go ahead, like, subscribe, give us some love in the comments. Say hello to us on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you want to say hi. But
as always, share us with your friends and family. Like we said, we old people like us.
Yes.
So,
well, I've been Justin.
I've been Paul. Have a good night.
Have a good night. I'll
Just hit the record
I'll
button.
just record it. I'm
Whoa!
recording.
Is that a green screen or is that a real place?
This is my new office. This is
What?
I set it all up.
Oh my gosh. Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, Justin. Well, it's a very cool background. It's very, very convincing.
I know.
At least a tiny picture on my screen right now.
I know. I thought it looked pretty good. I was like, wow, that's like, look, you can kind of see it on my shirt a little bit. But here's the kicker. This is where you know it's wrong. See, look at this. The beer's
Oh. But I mean, like, it looks like a basement behind you. So,
I know.
what more do you need?